Yay, we're finally on the race strategy. What are we going to do? We're going to learn what RACE stands for. We're going to practice using it, and we're going to understand how your response will be graded on a rubric. Woohoo! You know the drill. Remember when you enter a class, put the camera on you. Make sure you're muted. Be on time. Supplies and applications. What are you going to need today? So this is what you're going to need. Your notes, right? So something to write on, something to write with. You're going to need stuff from Schoology Week 6, and that is to complete this quiz when you are done. So what does RATE stand for? It stands for restate and answer the question or prompt, answer the question completely, cite and give evidence that supports your answer, explain how that evidence connects to your point. Okay, so the first thing is that you want to restate the question. So that's the whole question restated to the form of a complete sentence along with the answer. So those two things go together, like, what is your name? My name is, right? That's restating it. And then your answer. Answer the question completely. Sometimes it has a complex question, so you need to answer everything. So remember that you answer as clear and detailed and complete sentences and addresses the whole question. So you're looking here at number 3. That's good enough, right? That's meeting at a 7th grade level. But what we want to do is to move you over to here. This is, you're doing it all by yourself or you're performing at an 8th grade level. Cite. So you're citing textual evidence. That means that you are getting evidence that supports your answer. Okay, and that you're using a transition to introduce the text. So for example, in the article, it states, right? Whatever it states, okay? Next, you're explaining it. The evidence is not, if the evidence is not explained, it's just, you're not repeating it, right? We don't want to repeat it. You want to be explaining it. You want this to be really clear. And so one sentence starter is, this means. So many students try to skip this step, but it is so important. Otherwise, you're just leaving your audience to really be doing all the work, and we don't want that, okay? So this means ... Okay, grammar and punctuation. There are little grammar or punctuation mistakes, that's okay, but we really want to be at none. So remember, you can install Grammarly, okay, into your Chrome browser by going to the Chrome Web Store. Okay, search for Grammarly and install it. Have it help you. And next, understanding. Are you showing that you understand the question? That's what's critical. Okay, so when we asked the question, why does the author title the article Passing of an Icon, and we selected that this was the best answer from paragraph 2. Okay, now we want to see how we can use that to answer the question using the RACE strategy. So we're going to start by restating, then we're going to answer the question, then we're going to cite evidence. In this case, the evidence is going to be from paragraph 2, okay, that whole thing, and then we're going to explain how it connects to our point. Okay, so when we restate, we're looking at what does it mean to be getting a 3 or a 4, because that's passing. So we're going to restate it. So we take the question words out, like why, right? We're sure to capitalize, and then we add the word because, okay? Does is another one. So there we have it, right? If we capitalized it, the author titles, we have to add an S, the article Passing of an Icon because, right? And when we follow those steps, we get a 3 automatically. But if we really want to step it up, we can say, in the article, Passing of an Icon, the author explains why John Lewis is an icon. And that's just more complex. It's bringing in who the title person is from the article and kind of rephrasing things a little bit. So here we go. Now we're going to answer the question. Remember, we want to answer the whole question. So this should be your own idea in your own words. Don't just lift from the quote. This is where you summarize the main idea. So remember when we read the gist and you said this is the main idea, that's what you're putting in here, right? So for example, the author titles the article Passing of an Icon. So that was step 1 because, now here we go. John Lewis is an example of an icon. Okay, I did not lift that from the text. Or in the article Passing of an Icon, the author explains why John Lewis is an icon. Okay, so over here. And here we go. Which is a person who is very successful or admired. Remember that definition of icon? So we are using that definition to explain icon, and that's our level 4 answer. Okay, so either one of these are okay. All right, they're good answers. Next, now we need to cite and give evidence. So cite means to give credit. Okay, this is to give credit to the person who wrote the evidence, right? So this is the actual passage from the text. So those are slightly different. So when we do that, we use a transition word or phrase, right? Like, where did it go? In the article, the author states. Okay, and now I've pulled the evidence. Lewis devoted his life to blah, 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 blah. So that's all of paragraph 2. And then this is how I'm giving credit, right? For now, I'm giving credit just by naming the paragraph. Okay, that's a level 3. Now a level 4, okay, a level 4 steps it up again, but we're still doing the same things. So in this one, we're looking at the author shows how Lewis lived a successful life and shows why he should be admired in paragraph 2. It states, so that's a really kind of long intro. That's why it's a 4, because it's much more complicated and difficult. But I've included still, I'm citing, this is paragraph 2. I'm still naming that. And then I'm including, so I've done it, and then I'm including evidence from the text. So let's practice continuing. Now, this is really important. So many people forget to explain, okay? Again, don't restate or paraphrase the quote. Explain what the quote means and why it's important, okay? So do show how it supports your idea and it's connected to other ideas. Please don't do this. Don't paraphrase it or state it again. That does not help anyone. Okay, that just shows you don't understand. So here's how we might do it. This quote shows all of the things that Lewis accomplished during his life, and they show that he was an icon. So that's kind of your sentence starter that I underlined. So that's a level 3. Passing, great. Let's look at level 4. This example demonstrates, okay, what an icon is and why John Lewis is an icon. He stood up for what is right, even when it was hard or dangerous. He tried to make the world a better place and inspiring others a better place by inspiring others to do the same. This should be a bye. I got tripped up. Okay, and both of these connect back to what I said my answer was, my A. All right, guys, again, go over your answer. Ask yourself, does it make sense? Do you start all your sentences with a capital letter and end them with a period or some kind of punctuation? Do you use quotation marks? Do you use quotation marks around text and commas? Did you cite the quote, meaning did you give credit to the person who wrote it? But the way we're doing it in this case might be just putting the paragraph number. That's okay for 7th grade. And does your evidence connect to your answers, right? If you said that your favorite color is orange and then you explain why red is super great or get evidence that says red is super great, how does that make sense, right? So make sure that it connects to your answer and that you explain how and why it connects to your answer. Okay, so this is step 3 and this is step 4. So if you're ready to take it to the next level, and eventually we're going to get there, you're going to use two or more quotes from the text and explain each of them using the following formula. Step 1, restate and answer the whole question. introduce and then give and cite evidence from the text. Explain that evidence, right? So this is R, this is A, this is C, this is E, okay? Explain how that evidence connects to your answer, and then you go back and you repeat these again, okay? So you cite another piece of evidence. First you introduce it, right? And then cite another piece of evidence, and then you come back and you explain that evidence again. So that's a 4, okay? That's taking it up a level. Woohoo! You did it! Yay! Now go take the quiz. You got this. Okay, how do you get there? It is in week 6. You're going to take this quiz and you need to get a 3 or better in order to move on.